With a vaginal delivery, many people are worried about tearing. Here's your spine, here's the pelvis, it's kind of like a bowl. Here's the pubic bone in the front and the tailbone in the back. This is the outlet where the baby comes through. Your pelvic floor muscles attach from the pubic bone in the front to the tailbone in the back and also side to side, and there's several layers. This is a schematic of the perineum. Okay, so we have this hole here. This is where urine comes out, called the urethra. This is the vaginal opening, and then this is the anus. This smooth area of skin here is called the perineal body. When a vaginal delivery happens, this vaginal opening greatly expands, and this area here, called the perineal body, is the most common place for tears to happen. The classification scale that I'm going to be sharing with you today is from Ranscog, and you can look it up. I have the link in my bio. Here's a little screenshot of it. There are a lot of different scales out there, so I think it's important to understand that I'm using this scale, and this is a wonderful set of standards to help reduce the risk of severe perineal tears. So now let's go over each type of tear in these standards. Grade 0 is no tearing. So there's the vaginal opening, baby comes out, no tearing happened. First degree tear is when there's just a little bit of superficial tear at the posterior part of the vaginal wall there. It usually heals very quickly, and most of the time there aren't any long-term issues. There is a second degree tear, and these can vary. So they can go here, there can be a deeper tear. It can go all the way up to the external anal sphincter. So there's the anus, and these are the external anal sphincter muscles. So a grade 2 tear goes deeper into the tissue, and it could go just up to the external anal sphincter, but it doesn't include the external anal sphincter muscles. Depending on the severity of the grade 2 will also depend on how much pelvic floor musculature is involved. But definitely with any grade 2, the pelvic floor muscles are torn, and they are involved, and they are affected. With a grade 3A, so we tear from the posterior fourchette, we're going all the way through the perineal body, and we're going into the external anal sphincter, but less than a 50% thickness tear of those circular fibers. So it's just a little bit, it can go there, but it doesn't go all the way through. A grade 3B is greater than 50% of the external anal sphincter muscle. So you're getting the pelvic floor muscles involved here, and the external anal sphincter is actually a pelvic floor muscle too. So you're getting pelvic floor muscles, you're getting into the external anal sphincter. Greater than 50% of those fibers are torn through. Then a grade 3C is you're going all the way through the perineal body, the pelvic floor muscles, all the way through the external anal sphincter fibers into the inner rectal canal there. And you have something called the internal anal sphincter, which is difficult to visualize here, but if you think about this as the external anal sphincter, and the muscles are wrapping around there kind of in that circular fashion, the internal anal sphincter would be inside, deeper inside that canal. And so a grade 3C is going all the way through those external fibers, and it's impacting some of those internal fibers. And then a grade 4 is the most severe. So you're going all the way through, starting at that posterior fourchette in the vaginal canal there, so the perineal body, the pelvic floor muscles, going all the way through the external anal sphincter. You're going into the internal anal sphincter there and into the anal rectal mucosa. And so we very much want to prevent grade 3s and grade 4 tears because they're much more difficult to recover from. They require surgical intervention for repair, and the rehab process is much more involved. I encourage you to join my free class at the end of July. The link is in my bio or it's below in the caption, depending on what platform you're watching this on. I would love for you to be there because I'm going to go over the guidelines and I'm going to go over not just perineal tears, but some of the other types of tears that can happen, and also how you can reduce your risk to help prevent tears from happening in the first place so we don't have all those other bad things that can happen like leaks, pain, and pressure. My goal is to help you live a life doing what you love with who you love without pain, without pressure, without leaks.